Let's start. Hi everyone, this is the Kubescape community meeting. Today is November the 7th, and we are live from KubeCon. Hey! So, what are we supposed to share, David? Some news about Kubescape 3? Maybe we can reuse the slides from yesterday's meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we should use the slide. You have it? You want me to send you?
I can check. One sec.
Oh, Ben sent it in the email.
Yeah, it's opening. I guess.
Okay.
Yes. So I will try to share. If I start the slideshow, does it work?
Yep.
Okay.
There you go.
Great.
Just one. Yeah, it's recording. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it is recording. Okay. So, who starts?
Yeah, you want me to take it from here?
Yeah, David.
Okay,
please.
so what have we done in the past year? So these are like the main events. Now, when we're saying in the past year, we're talking about since the previous KubeCon, since KubeCon North America, which took place in Detroit. So, and now we're also here in KubeCon and Chicago. So what we have done in the Kubescape community in the past year, so we're a sandbox, and so which that's a great milestone with the CNCF. We joined the LFX mentorship program, we have some actually quite a number of mentees, as you can tell, 6 mentees, which is a lot. We also reached 9,000 stars in our Kubescape organization and our Kubescape project, which that's amazing. We also managed to fully detach from the Armo platform. That means if Kubescape was until now directly linked to Armo, so as part of also the CNCF sandboxing, we are detaching fully from Armo. So Kubescape is fully set for the community, and we have many new contributors. I think much more than 20, and also we have here some cool collaborations with Inspector Gadget, with some other projects. Some of them are CNCF projects, some of them are simply open source projects, but really good collaborations with them. We can move to the next slide. Okay, so and now what are the main features, the main changes? So until now we spoke about from the community perspective, so let's talk a little bit technical of what has changed or what did we improve in the past year. So one thing we did was we released Kubescape 3.0, which in Kubescape 3.0 we introduced some cool features and also some really great changes. So one thing we did was the redesign of the CLI interface. We created the CLI interface that it should be a much more user-friendly walk in the park, if you might. And it's the flow of the CLI interface right now is much better, and this is obviously from feedback that we received from the community, and we expect to see a lot from it. Another thing which we did is we added some new features which we can scan from the CLI. We can use image scanning from the CLI. Now, obviously, there are many other tools to do this, but I must say we do it better, which that's pretty cool. You can take a look at how it looks, and you could look at it, and I think you would agree with me. Also, we added the image patch. So when you have vulnerabilities in your image, the image patch is a way for you to simply rebuild your image and remove a lot of your vulnerabilities. So it's also something which you should try it out. This is one of the mentees, the CNCF mentees developed. And the last thing is we added the ability to scan a single workload, which that means that not only you scan for misconfigurations, we also scan it together with the image. So you get a full view of a specific workload, of all the configuration misconfigurations based on the hardening guidelines, and also the vulnerabilities. And you also get the remediation for all this, so how you can fix it. So what would be your next step? So this is what we did with the Kubescape 3.0 in the CLI. Now we would look a bit on the Kubescape operator, changes we made in the Kubescape operator, which over here we added a lot of new capabilities. These are like the main capabilities which we added here, which is first of all was continuous scanning. That means if until now Kubescape would scan the whole cluster as it is, from now on Kubescape would scan resource by resource every time the resource would change. So you get live data, you get live results. It's almost like an admission controller, and in many ways this is like a step before an admission controller. The continuous scanning also really, like, we struggled a lot in the past with memory and CPU usage in extremely large clusters. The continuous scanning removes this whole thing, just tosses it out of the window because we scan resource by resource. Another thing, as I mentioned before, we're fully standalone. That means we're much more community friendly and not dependent anymore. We're not dependent by ARMO anymore. Another really cool feature, and we'll talk on other cool features also on the next slide, but in this slide we talk over here about the network policy generation. So what we did in the past year is we integrated with Inspector Gadget, which that is eBPF, and essentially we added eBPF capabilities to the Kubescape project. And once we added the eBPF capabilities, we have many features that we can develop on top of that capability. And one of those features is network policy, that we can automatically generate network policy based on the live data of the application. The idea of this is that once you generate this network policy, this network policy won't break your application, and it definitely saves a lot of time for writing your own network policy. Let's go to the next slide. And other really interesting things we did is the features that we released, which is the vulnerability scanning and relevancy. So the vulnerability scanning, and this is something that we have done already in the past. That means it's not new, but what we have done that's very interesting over here is that we generate the SBOMs, which those are also available within the cluster. That means if you don't only want to see the list of vulnerabilities of each image, you can also receive the SBOM, which it's in many ways the list of the different packages, etc., which you have in that image. And so this is one thing that it's very easy to use, and you can integrate it with also with different scripts, etc. So if you're interested with that. Another thing, which is the relevancy, this is an amazing capability. There are companies that this is their whole offering is the idea of doing relevancy, which is to, based on eBPF, to know what packages are in use and what packages aren't. So many times when you scan an image for vulnerabilities, some of the packages who could be even very high vulnerabilities, like critical, high, etc., like a high severity, they are not really in use. They're not loaded in runtime into the memory, and therefore they're not really concerning in most cases. So by detecting or analyzing exactly what packages are in use and what aren't, we can definitely save over here an enormous amount of time. So you as a maintainer of an image, you can focus on the vulnerabilities that actually matter, fix the packages that really matter, and ignore the ones who aren't. And this is really strong. It saves an enormous amount of time. We're talking here about 40%, 60% save up time, which is a lot. And another really interesting thing we did is we also added the Vex support. This is still, we're still developing it. We have a beta version that was already released. The idea with Vex is it's a different format that is slowly becoming more and more popular. So if you're interested and we're the only ones who really generate this Vex and automatically. So it's also cool. Now with the Vex, we integrated the Vex results with the relevancy results. So you get a really powerful Vex document event, which is a serious advantage over here. And I think that's it, right? Matthias, do we have another slide? Oh, yeah. So what is coming up in the next year? So here's sort of I would say the roadmap, if you will. We're going into policy enforcements. That means we're starting to, as I mentioned, maybe in one word before, I said I said admission controller. So we're definitely going in that direction. So we can also not only inform you, but also enforce the results. Another thing is also I mentioned that now that we have the eBPF capability, so we will be focusing much more on the runtime detection, not only the file side and the scanning YAMLs and shift left, as it's called, but also much more in the runtime detection. And this is really extremely powerful, having all this together in a single platform, all this information in a single platform. We would be also developing a UI for Kubescape with, also we're going to expand our exporters, that means Prometheus support, etc. But also we are planning on building open source community UI for the Kubescape. And last but not least, we will be developing also a network scanner. That means, at least this is in the roadmap, this based on this network scanner, we would check what ports are in use, what aren't, and based on that also give you remediation and tell you how to update, change your workloads. So you will add, so you can remove some ports that are not in use. And that's it. So this is you know, 30,000 feet above. This is the plan for the upcoming year in the Kubescape. Any questions, comments?
Lucas, do you have any, your contributor, or you wanna ask some questions about the project?
Oh, actually, I think there is only me to ask something. Can you hear me well? Okay, so
Sure,
actually,
we can.
I started to use Kubescape a couple months ago. Actually, I have already talked to Ben a very long time ago, and I'm using Kubescape mainly on my pipeline, following the concept of DevSecOps. So I'm planning to use this new feature of scanning images of Kubescape. So like now I was using another tool to scan my images, and now I can use Kubescape. I have already tried, and I saw that there is the same way, it works in the same way. So what do I want for Kubescape? I think would be cool is the UI. So you have a platform as a service where I can submit my cluster scans, and I there are everything there. But I want this inside my cluster. I don't want use an external. I cannot use an external send any data of my cluster for external service, because we don't trust anything. You know how it is. So would be cool to have a UI like that, a platform as a service, inside my cluster. Do you have plans, or this UI you said it's more like that platform?
Okay, so I would break your question. I heard over here two separate questions, and or at least a statement and then a question. So I understand you use Kubescape mainly in your CI/CD pipeline. Is that correct?
Yes.
For scanning images, right? And then you're saying, I want to use Kubescape. I want to run Kubescape operator within the cluster, but I don't want to submit that data to an external platform, and that's why I'm not using it. Did I understand you correctly?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, as I mentioned over here, Kubescape right now is fully standalone, so you can run the Kubescape operator within your cluster without submitting data to the backend. The way you can use the results, the information, is by CRDs. Okay, we store everything as CRDs. Now we don't store it in the etcd. We have our own managed storage database within the cluster, but you can access it like you access other CRDs. So the integration with it is very simple and out of the box. So this is first, that's about like the ability of running and also retrieving results. Now, if you want the Armo experience, and I don't blame you because that's much better, obviously, than just looking at CRDs. And there are also many other features over there. So this is something that we do have an offline on-prem offering, and it's definitely something that we can discuss, having the offline and the on-prem offering.
So
and if you want, I think this is we can definitely take that take that offline and continue to talk about that.
I see. So we can deploy the platform inside my infrastructure, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Because I would say the Kubescape UI we're developing would obviously, it won't contain all the capabilities we have in Armo, because the Kubescape UI is a community. It's something that, we have external developers or people from the community developing. We won't get there to the volume and to the abilities. We'll never get to the volume and abilities that we have in the Armo platform. So I will recommend you, if you want to have the Armo platform. So yeah, we can definitely work it out with on-prem installation.
Okay. So I want to
Okay,
tell.
so you
I want
you
to
want
tell
to
also
send me
that.
your email?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I want to tell that I'm also using the Kubescape inside my clusters, and I'm using Prometheus Exporter with Grafana, and I have I have a panel with the vulnerabilities and so on. Is that default panel? And you said you are I don't know how to say, but when you are planning to split apart from Armo and start CNCF, approximating CNCF. So do I will have do I have to reinstall Kubescape on my clusters, or we work in the same way?
We work in the same way. We don't break backward compatibility. So you shouldn't be worried about that. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. And now regarding Prometheus, this is also, so first of all, I really recommend you to reach out, and I sent you my email, but so you can email me, or that you can reach out to us in the CNCF channel, the Kubescape CNCF channel. It's just that we're also right now working in a much better Prometheus exporter. So I recommend you to stay tuned over there if you're interested. We're just making it much better.
Okay.
And we should release it probably very soon, like sometime in the close few weeks. Yeah. which would also include not only the configuration scanning, which we have today, it would also include the image vulnerability scanning. And in general, it would be much more accurate. And yeah, it's supposed to be much better. So we're working on it right now. We have that also as a project, a side project.
Cool,
Okay.
cool.
But like about your concern of do we break backward compatibility or not? In general, the answer is we don't. Actually, with Prometheus, we would be breaking backward compatibility, mainly because if we're going over here with a whole different approach. But if you don't update obviously your installation, so it won't change.
Okay. So thanks.
Okay. Yeah, so I sent you here my email, and I shared with you here my email. And again, I recommend it. So you can email me if you want, or reach out to us on the CNCF on the Kubescape channel. Yeah, and we can talk about the offline, the on-prem offering. Okay.
Sure. Thanks.
Yeah, and thank you. You're enjoying the platform.
Yeah, for sure.
That's great.
And also, if I can add,
Yeah, sure.
if you're using a Kubescape and would like to appear in our adopters list of adopters, it would be really nice and would help us with the CNCF graduation. Right. Okay. I saw that Obelix joined and then he left. So I will try to reach him by chat on the CNCF. Do we have something to add to this community meeting?
I don't have anything to add. Okay. So Lucas, I'm waiting for an email from you. Okay. Or DM in the Slack channel, the Kubescape Slack channel. And that's it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's go and enjoy the keynotes of KubeCon Chicago. See you next month. Thank you very much.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.